The North remembers. We know no king, but the king in the North whose name is Stark. I don't care if he's a bastard. Ned Stark's blood runs through his veins. He's my king, from this day until his last day.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back for another Game of Thrones foreshadowing video. Today I want to talk about a few different scenes from Season 7 because they could be foreshadowing how certain storylines will end next season. As I'm sure most of you know, I have made a couple foreshadowing videos before where I talked about some older scenes and whether or not they were giving us clues about how Game of Thrones could end. Well, today I only want to talk about some of the scenes that took place during Season 7. Even though Dan and Dave no longer have George's source material to pull from, that doesn't mean they haven't dropped a few clues as to how the series will eventually end, so let's take a look at some of the scenes from last season. The first scene I want to show you took place during Season 7, Episode 3. This was when Jaime Lannister and Lady Olenna spoke for the last time. Jaime was able to sack Highgarden with the help of the Tarleys, and once he was inside the castle, he has a private conversation with Lady Olenna right before he gives her the poison to drink. During this conversation, Lady Olenna says something to Jaime that could be foreshadowing his own fate. Take a look at this video clip, then I will give you a few of my own thoughts on what this could mean.
You love her. You really do love her. You poor fool. She'll be the end of you.
Possibly. Not much to be gained from discussing it with you, though, is there?
So, as you can see, Jaime and Olenna were talking about Cersei, and this is when Lady Olenna tells Jaime that Cersei will be the end of him. Then Jaime says, possibly. Now I know this might sound a little confusing to some people because as of right now, Jaime and Cersei are no longer together. Jaime Lannister is currently on his way north to help fight in the Great War, but we all know this will not be the last time Jaime and Cersei see each other. Based on Daenerys Targaryen's vision from the House of the Undying, it's pretty obvious that an attack on King's Landing is inevitable, and Jaime Lannister will be there too. Besides, Cersei Lannister has always said she would burn cities down to the ground. She had proven this when she burnt down the Sept of Baelor, and when Cersei realizes she can no longer have King's Landing, she will make sure no one else can have it either. When Cersei deployed the wildfire reserves under the Sept of Baelor, Cersei not only murdered a whole lot of innocent people, but she also committed the very action that Jaime ruined his reputation to prevent. If push comes to shove, would Jaime just stand by and allow Cersei to blow up King's Landing and potentially kill 1 million innocent lives? Or would he put a stop to this like he had done in the past? I would like to think that Jaime would kill Cersei if given the chance under these circumstances, but how would this lead to Jaime's death? Because that's what Lady Olenna was insinuating. The Queen of Thorns warned Jaime that his beloved sister will lead him to his death, but how? The main reason why I wanted to talk about this possibility is because it completely goes against my own prediction or theory about how Jaime's story ends. I'm sure most of you already know, but I have always believed that Jaime would die during the process of saving Bran Stark's life in some way. Since Jaime's story arc basically began when he pushed Bran out of the window, I always thought it would come full circle in the end, which means Jaime would sacrifice his own life to save Bran's. But if what Lady Olenna says is true, then this might not be the case depending on how you want to look at it. I think most people do believe that Jaime will be the Valonqar, which is the little brother who will kill Cersei, according to Maggie the Frog. So just for the sake of this argument, let's say Lady Olenna is right, and let's say Jaime is even the Valonqar. If both of these things end up being true, then I think there are a few ways this could play out. During the Season 7 finale, we already saw Jaime coming very close to being killed by Gregor Clegane. In fact, when Cersei gave him the signal to pull out his sword, I actually thought Jaime was going to die in that moment. But I am glad he did not die because he still has his pages to fill in the White Book. However, this doesn't mean the Mountain won't eventually kill him in the end. If Jaime ends up fulfilling the Valonqar prophecy, then perhaps the Mountain inflicts a fatal wound on Jaime right before he is able to kill Cersei and save King's Landing. Or, perhaps Jaime kills himself right after he kills Cersei. I don't think we can rule this out just yet. Besides, if you've read all the books, then you would know Jaime and Cersei dying together has been hinted at on more than one occasion by both of these characters. Jaime has said that he could not die while Cersei still lived. We will die together as we were born together. If Jaime doesn't happen to be the one who kills Cersei, then I think there is a very good chance it could be done by Euron Greyjoy. Even if he doesn't strangle her like the prophecy states, there are a number of different ways he could get Cersei out of his way. There is another scene I wanted to show you from that same episode, and this was when Cersei was meeting with the representative from the Iron Bank. At some point next season, Euron Greyjoy might betray Cersei Lannister and even kill her. What Tychos said to Cersei could be foreshadowing how her story ultimately comes to an end. There was actually 2 different things he said to Cersei that leads me to believe she will lose even more allies next season. First, let's take a look at what he said about Euron Greyjoy.
I decapitated the Dornish snake. My armada owns the Narrow Sea.
Euron Greyjoy's armada owns the Narrow Sea.
Euron Greyjoy is loyal to me.
For now. Daenerys Targaryen has 3 full-grown dragons. How well do wooden ships fare against fire-breathing dragons?
Her dragons might not be as invulnerable as some think.
I think Tychos basically said what all of us have been thinking. Cersei might have Euron's loyalty as of right now, but how long will this last? Everyone knows Euron cannot be trusted, and I'm sure his patience and faith in Cersei is running thinner by the day. He has already went above and beyond to help Cersei defeat her enemies, but he has yet to receive anything in return. Now that Jaime is gone, Cersei may become even more desperate, and Euron may seize this as an opportunity to position himself even closer to sitting on the Iron Throne. In one of the sample chapters from The Winds of Winter, it says, one of the visions Aeron sees after he is forced to drink Shade of the Evening is of Euron Greyjoy sitting on the Iron Throne, looking more squid than human. And beside him stands a shadow in woman's form, long and tall and terrible, her hands alive with pale white fire. Maybe that's a reference to Cersei using wildfire as we saw on the show. Perhaps it is foreshadowing that Euron will sit on the Iron Throne, even if for a brief amount of time. I think this is something we have to take into consideration. Now whether Euron actually turns on Cersei or not is up for debate. But I also know some of you have been wondering what will happen with the Golden Company. I want to show you another short clip from Tychos and Cersei's conversation, because it could be foreshadowing the future of the Iron Bank's relationship with Cersei. So take a look at what he says.
The Iron Bank appreciates how you cast off the yoke of superstition, freeing the crown from elements who sought to subvert the rule of law.
The destruction of the Sept of Baelor was a tragic accident.
Indeed. But sometimes tragedies are necessary to restore order and rational leadership.
The Iron Bank wants its gold back.
Your father never minced words either. But yes, your debts are considerable.
I wanted to save this clip for last because I thought it was the most interesting one in my opinion, because I have considered Euron and or Jaime killing Cersei for quite some time, but this part of the conversation could be hinting at what the Iron Bank ultimately does. The only fighting chance Cersei has is if she gets the Golden Company on her side, but if the Iron Bank decides to shift their alliance, then obviously Cersei is completely screwed. Now, what Cersei said during that scene was, what happened to the Sept of Baelor was a tragic accident, but what Tychos said in response could reveal his true intentions. Tychos said yes, sometimes tragedies are necessary to restore order and rational leadership. Now, does it sound like Cersei fits that description? Can order be restored with Cersei in power? And is she a rational leader? Absolutely not, and the Iron Bank knows this. They also know Cersei doesn't have a very good chance at winning the war. Later in this conversation, he even voices his concern about Euron Greyjoy's allegiance. He knows Euron cannot be trusted, and even if he can, he says what good are his wooden ships against fire-breathing dragons? We all know the answer to this because we saw what her dragons had done to the ships in Meereen. I think the Iron Bank could be secretly working out a new deal behind the scenes, and it's a deal that won't involve Cersei Lannister's losing cause. Many people have already predicted the Golden Company will turn their back on Cersei by swearing fealty to the Targaryens, and what Tychos said during that conversation may be the foreshadowing for this plot twist. It would actually be kinda cool if Euron did what Tywin did to the Mad King. Right before Ned arrived in King's Landing, Tywin and his men were given access inside the city gates, and once they were inside, they started butchering all of the Mad King's men and family. This was when the Mountain killed Rhaegar and Elya's children. When Euron shows up with the Golden Company, he could do the exact same thing. The City Watch will allow him to enter because they are under the impression that him and Cersei are allies. But once he's inside, he could take over the city, and Cersei wouldn't be able to do much about it. Regardless of how it plays out, I don't see Cersei making it out of the season alive. Her downfall is inevitable, but it's always fun trying to guess who will be the one to take her down for good. Let me know your thoughts on all of this. Do you think Lady Olenna was right when she said Cersei will be the downfall for Jaime Lannister? Do you think Tychos was right when he suggested Euron won't stay loyal for long? And do you think the Iron Bank is planning on sending the Golden Company elsewhere? Put your comments down below. I appreciate each and every one of you for watching the video. The support seems to be growing stronger and I cannot thank you all enough. There will be another giveaway announced in my next video, so make sure you come back and watch that one to find out all the details. Also, I want to thank everyone on Patreon for continuing to support my channel. The long night is almost over, and I love you because your support has never wavered. Have a great day. I will see you again very soon. Bye.